Hello, so this is my forecast for Friday, and let's get started with looking at the euro and US dollar. So I was actually in a trade right here. As I was speaking yesterday, I saw this nice bomb formation. So I saw a large impulse, then I saw the first low, first high, then we broke the low and retraced, got a bullish candle, so I entered on this candle. What happened then? Price went to the upside, and then it broke this high. So at this point I managed to reduce my risk and actually put it in profit below this candle, because this was the most recent low then. So I put my stops below this point, and then price took me out, and then we just continued to ascend in this larger structure. So this was a 0.9% win, and it was a very good trade. It fit my plan 100%, and I really liked the price action that happened right here. So at this point we are in an ascending structure. So this to me is, I see an ascending channel, and what I can forecast is that we will get more of this ascending channel, and then I would look for a drop to the downside and look for a short trade. What can also happen, we can stay ranging between the low and the high, since we know that the market is closing today, and Monday and Tuesday are predominantly range bound. Or we can shoot to the upside and get maybe a long trade opportunity, because I know that on the euro and the US dollar we can get an ascending, then an impulse in the same direction. Also we can get an impulse to the upside, pull back another impulse, look for a long trade. What can also happen, we can get a descending from here, and then this can just turn out to be a larger range. So something like this, because I know when I see an ascending into a descending structure, it signals further ranging price action. So that is definitely something to keep in mind, and having in mind when looking at what happens after this move. Also what can happen, we can get a push to the downside straight from here. I would look for a short trade, or we can get a push, pull back another push, look for a bullet short trade. This would be very high probability, since we are now seeing a trend. So we are seeing one impulse, pull back another impulse. And also what I need to keep in mind is, if we do get a larger range right here, something like this, just a second. So if we do get this larger range, then there are liquidity areas, so above and below this range, and I need to see what happens when the price reaches those liquidity areas. So we will just break into it and retrace, or maybe we get this nice push and then get an opportunity, or maybe we get an ascending into the liquidity area and then push to the downside and then get a trade opportunity. So it all depends on what happens when we reach those liquidity areas, because I know that there are people's stops there, and the price is very likely to reverse. So let's move on to the euro and the Japanese yen. So there was no opportunity for me to enter on this pair, and currently I'm seeing this descending structure. So we're breaking the lows, retracing, breaking the lows, retracing, breaking the lows, retracing. And on the larger scale, I'm seeing this ascending into a descending structure, and I would say we are very, very range bound. So what I can actually forecast is that we get more of this channel to channel price action. So more ranges, more ranging price action. And I would definitely stay out of that, because I know when we get an ascending into a descending, it signals ranging price action. Since I am a trend trader, I would definitely be definitely sitting on my hands. So we can also get a nice big push to the upside from here. I would look for a trade, or we can get a nice big push, pull back another push, look for a bullet long trade. We can get this ascending that I was talking about, and then a nice big push to the downside, look for a short trade. We can also stay ranging at this point. So I know that Monday, Tuesday are range bound, and the market is soon closing. And if we do get this, as I was saying before, there are liquidity areas above and below, so where people keep their stops. And we need to see what happens when the price reaches those liquidity areas, if we just break and retrace or if we get some momentum. Also, what can happen, we can get an impulse to the downside, then look for a short trade. And I know that on the euro and the Japanese yen we can get a descending, so we can get a descending and then an impulse in the same direction. That is one of the possibilities. Or we can get a push, pull back another push, look for a short trade. This would be signaling a trend and a very high probability. But all of these opportunities really need to look clean, because I'm seeing a larger range. I'm classifying this as range-bound price action, and I really need to see a nice big clean move out of this price action in order to be looking for any trades. So yeah, currently we are descending, and let's see what happens at the close of the market and then on Monday and Tuesday. So let's move on to the Aussie pairs, and I was actually in a trade also on the Aussie. So let me take this back. So at this point I was seeing this large impulse. I was seeing the market starting to trend to the upside. Then we broke the high, retraced, broke the low, retraced, broke the high, retraced. And at this point I was wanting to see continuation to the upside. Then I would look for a long trade. And this candle showed to me personally that momentum is ready to push further to the upside. Then we got this candle with this large wick. And at this point I wanted to see a combo formation to the entry point. So I would not like to see a V reversal. This would be bad, but when I see a combo trade, to me it's high probability, and I really like that. So I was definitely willing to place a order if I saw a combo. So then we paused with this candle, got this counter trend candle, and after this point I placed a pending order, because then it would be a combo, and I got tagged in. So the one thing that this trade would not be high probability, because we saw this range right here, and when I see a range like this I need to see more of a push. So this was not really enough of a push out of this range, so this was more of a valid trade, but it did fit my plan and I was willing to enter on a long trade. But definitely something to backtest in the future, because when we do break out of these ranges we need to see a bigger push and some more conviction, because often this can happen as it happened here. So we can just retrace back into the range, and we know that a wick signals either a range or a reversal. So right here it actually signaled a reversal, but I was willing at this point to place a pending order, because I was seeing a trend to the upside, I was seeing momentum continue, and I was seeing a combo formation. So yeah, this was a 1% loss, and definitely this is something to backtest in the future. And then what happened, so let me just replay this. So then we broke the low, retraced, broke the low, retraced, broke the high, retraced, and currently we are just stuck in this larger range. So there is no really momentum either to the upside or to the downside. We are just stuck in this formation. So what I would expect is more of this ranging price action, and for the price not to move really to the upside or to the downside, since Monday and Tuesday are predominantly range bound. And what I would like to see, I would like to see a nice big impulse to the upside, look for trade, nice big push, pull back another push, look for a long trade, or maybe we get the clean ascending structure, push to the downside, look for a short trade. I would also like to see a nice big push to the downside, look for a trade, or a push, pull back another push, look for a short trade. Maybe we do get the descending structure, then push to the upside, look for a long trade. So yeah, it all depends on what happens next. And if we do get this larger range, I know that there are liquidity areas above and below. So the same as on the euro pairs, then there are liquidity areas above and below. And I need to be really careful what happens when the price reaches the liquidity area. So does it just break and retrace, or does it give me some conviction to the upside? Or do we just have an ascending into the liquidity area and then push to the downside? So that is something to keep in mind. If we do form this larger range, then I need to be really careful what happens when we reach the liquidity area. Okay, so for the final pair, so for the Aussie and the Japanese yen, we were actually seeing a larger ascending structure. Then we went into a descending structure, and then we got this impulse. So let me take this back. At this point I was seeing an ascending into a descending, so I was seeing a range-bound price action. And if we look at the larger picture, this is also range-bound conditions. So to me, this signals I need to be more alert, and I need to look for more high probability setups. And I need to be more careful when entering trades, so I want to see some more confirmation. So at this point, what we then got is we got a nice push to the downside and the continuation of that push. And after this candle, I was looking to see either if we get continuation or do we retrace. What we then actually got, we got double, so we got large double wicks. When I see large double wicks on the Japanese pairs, I tend to be very careful, and I want to see if we get the range straight from here, then opportunity to enter, or do we get an aggressive retrace. Then I will stay out, because I know when we get an aggressive retrace, it can just ascend and then continue to the upside. That is one of the characteristics for the Japanese pairs. So I'm definitely alert right here and looking to see what happens. And to me, actually, we got this aggressive retrace. We didn't get a range, so there was a bump opportunity to enter on this candle. But to me, it definitely didn't fit my plan, because I was seeing large double wicks and an aggressive retrace without the range, so definitely didn't fit my plan. And currently I'm expecting actually for this to go to the upside. So we will see what happens. We can also stay ranging right here. Something like this. Or maybe we get nice push from here, look for a trade. Or we get a nice push, pull back another push, look for a long trade. We can get an ascending from here, break the high, shoot to the downside, look for a short trade. Or there is a possibility to still go to the downside. If we get a nice large impulse, I would look for a short trade. Also, what can happen, we can get a large impulse and then maybe get a combo to the entry point. Or we can get a push, pull back another push, look for a short trade. And this would be very high probability, since we're then seeing one impulse, pullback, second impulse, pullback, and a third impulse. So a real good trend. And yeah, those are some of the possibilities. As I said, if we do get the larger range right here, I know that there are liquidity areas above and below. So right here is a liquidity area, and below would be a liquidity area. And we need to see if the price would just, so if we do get a range, if the price would just push into the liquidity area and retrace, or would it give us a continuation. So yeah, currently this was a good impulse, but after the impulse, this to me signaled a reversal. So I'm not looking for any trades, and I was not willing to get in on a short trade right here. And yeah, that is it. This pair is heavily range bound. We are seeing an ascending into a descending structure, and that is definitely something to keep in mind and stay out of any just average trades. So that's it for the forecast, and I will see you in the next one.